Howdy neighbor, and welcome to my full review of Just One Riot. That is a collaboration between Bill at Murphy and McNeil and Pete Hendrix with Hendrix Classics and Co. Bill designed the logo, or the label, the artwork that you see there, and this is a tribute to the Texas Rangers. The fragrance is a dupe of Alfred Dunhill's Desire for Man, a modern cologne type fragrance. I believe it was 2000 is when it first debuted. I've always wanted it. I'll put a photo right up here of the fragrance itself in this beautiful red, sleek, modern looking bottle. I've had this for a little while. I got delayed with it. If you saw my first impressions, you know why. I'm not going to dwell on that too much other than apologize for the delay with this. This is an exclusive to Murphy and McNeil. Currently the soap is in stock and more splash is on the way, and you can always hit the notify me when available if you are interested and you want the splash, and when you go there it's not there. One of the reasons why I'm coming to you from this location is I just don't feel too comfortable with some of my hikes taking some of my more expensive gear with me. This is the most expensive modern razor I have, and that is the Rex Konsul Slant adjustable razor. Still working my way through my slants. Just about everything today other than the razor has been gifted to me for review from Pete at Hendrix Classics and Co, including these blades, the Statums, as a 10-pack. I've used 3 or 4 of them now. I have a first use Statum inside my Konsul, and I'll be doing this on setting 3. Before I forget, the winner of the $15 gift card from the Cosmic Gentleman review is Lee Hazley. Congratulations. Lee is actually a friend of mine, and so when his number 11 popped up and I saw that he was number 11, I was happy for him. Congratulations, my friend. Send me your email and I'll get that to Pete, and then Pete will contact you. Here in a little bit, we'll kick off another $15 gift card review. I may do 2 of them. I still haven't really decided how I want to do this. Pete Hendrix at Hendrix Classics and Co, using my stainless steel Hendrix Classics and Co bowl, Pete has generously offered to me to give away 2 $15 gift cards a month. And I just think that's the coolest thing ever. Thank you, Pete. I appreciate you, and I know that everyone who has the opportunity appreciates it as well. Giveaways are a ton of fun, and one of the best giveaways in my opinion is a gift card. That way you get to pick out, what you want. This fragrance, I love it. I've wanted it for several years now, ever since I first tried a sample of it. The top notes: apple, lemon, bergamot, and orange blossom. In the mid, in the heart, we find rose, teakwood, and patchouli. Absolutely beautiful modern fragrance. In the base is vanilla and musk. I scooped this with my Hendrix Classics and Co stainless steel scoop. Thank you, Pete, for that. A couple of things I want to talk about too. So I have this brush that Pete sent me. It's a Poisson type. And then this green and yellow. It's available in several colors, and Pete allowed me to pick out the color. And so I went with this green and yellow. There will be other color options, but because of my Oregon Ducks, I went with the green and yellow, and I love it. It's one of the, in my opinion, there's no sales page yet. These are not available for sale yet. It's kind of like a Trafalgar type knot that you find in the Sovereign Fiber type knot that you find in the Simpson Trafalgar. So this is a much bigger knot. Damn it. I'll put it right up here because there's not a sales page yet, so I'll have to ask Pete again. I believe it's a 26 millimeter knot, and it is heavily packed. Prior to a few months ago, I knew Pete, but I didn't know Pete well, and that's something that I want to talk about here in a minute after I break down this fragrance for you. And that's the way that I've gotten to know Pete the last couple of months doing these reviews, which would be Eastwood, that was the Shave Dad collaboration, this here, Just One Riot, and then Cosmic Gentleman, all of which were sent to me for review. And I always contact artisans with a handful of questions. And I've never had an experience where an artisan wasn't more than happy to assist me with some of my redundant questions. Some of them, you know, are things that I already pretty much know, but I want to make sure that I get it right for you guys, because the last thing I want to do is add confusion to something and get something wrong. So sometimes I ask, you know, questions that I know the answer to, but I just want to make sure I'm right. In the top, the apple, it's a light apple, but it's like this mouth-watering green crisp apple, and immediately right behind it you get that lemon and the bergamot, and it just creates this refreshing, citrusy, beautiful fragrance to it that is just, it's perfect. Right in behind that, the orange blossom, which is a flower, of course, not the citrus, it's the flower. It sneaks right up in behind it. Right below you, I have a mirror. And then immediately behind that orange blossom, the rose comes sneaking up in, and it's just creating this light, beautiful floral. This is a lighter fragrance. It's not a big boom blast in your face type fragrance. You know, a lot of modern fragrances aren't that way. If you like modern fragrances, this is right up your alley. When this was developed in the early 2000s, Dunhill was setting out to create a fragrance for the 30 to 40-year-old kind of market. And I feel like that is still very true today, to where people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, and even older, will absolutely love this fragrance. My wife and daughter, for those of you keeping track at home, they love this fragrance. No surprise there. When I first smelled it, I knew they were going to love it, and they do, as do I. The teakwood and the patchouli. Got my bowl for dipping my razor in down here, rinsing off. Let me put a little bit more water in it. Teakwood is a beautiful, rich type wood. I would not call this a woody fragrance whatsoever. I think that teakwood and the patchouli is just adding another dimension to this fragrance. Setting 3, first use Statum. This is Statums are platinum and chrome plated, and I've really been enjoying them. In the base, we have that vanilla and musk. It is a soft vanilla. This fragrance is blended in such a way that picking out any one note can be difficult. I've been wearing it a lot as a perfume, as a cologne. I've had a lot of time to get to know this fragrance and break it down. And I actually found on FragranceNet that they have the real thing. And with a coupon, I can get it for a decent price. I think I'm going to grab that 3.4 ounce bottle. So far, I haven't had a bad experience with FragranceNet. I've been very happy with everything I've got from that website. They are a wholesaler, which, you know, you never know if it's going to be how outdated it might be or how close to being outdated it might be. But so far, I've been very, very happy with the half dozen or dozen or so fragrances that I purchased off of that website. The musk is a light modern musk. This is not a musky fragrance. The teakwood, patchouli, and even the vanilla and that musk are one there to help extend the life of this fragrance, and you will get a full work day out of this splash alone. I'll put it on before work, and you can come home and that base, the dry down, is still there, beautiful as ever. The top notes do, you know, fade, but I would still consider this a fruity, slightly sweet, slight floral, masculine fragrance. I love this brush. Right up front, the only downside that I could see someone having with this particular knot would be it's bigger, and so it's going to be a little bit of a soap hog, and so I scooped a little more than I would have scooped had I would have, for instance, used this brush knot here, which is, smaller and not as packed. With Pete, right? So about a year and a half now I've been doing this content creation YouTube thing, and through this I've had the opportunity to get to know a handful of artisans in ways that I otherwise wouldn't have gotten a chance to know them. And here recently, Pete is one of those guys. Pete Hendrix, the artisan behind HC&C, is one of the folks that I've had the chance to get to know. Pete is definitely the kind of guy that you would call the consummate professional. He is very dedicated to only putting out something that he can absolutely stand behind. Case in point, and I'm going to do a review with this other brush, and I'll break it down more. But he contacted me the other day, and I hope Pete doesn't mind me saying this, because I don't run these kind of things by artisans too often before I talk about them. I just lay it out there and I give it to you guys raw and real, right? And then just let the cards fall and lay where they may. I had a thought that I wanted to share along with that. Damn it, I'll stick with the brush though, and maybe it'll come to me. So with the brush, he was concerned about it not being up to his standards of not being something that he could stand behind, and he had said that he was noticing that with some of them, you would get a little bit of a separation right in here. And as you can see with mine, I've used mine 5 or 10 times. I've used it a lot. I've got no problems with this brush. And one of the things I asked Pete was, what's it going to retail for? And I told him, that I just recently, during the Watcher review that I did just the other day, that I talked about the cost of things and how, and he even called this an economy brush. And I was sharing with him my thoughts on how there's a time and a place for economy things. Like this $350 razor. This is a great razor, and if you have the money, I recommend you buying it. But you know what? It's not going to shave any better than a $50 or $75 razor. It's not, you guys. It's just like, a Lamborghini versus a Ford. They're both going to get you from point A to point B. It's a matter of what you can afford and how much, bling you want getting from point A to point B. I could go out and get a Lamborghini, but then I wouldn't be able to afford a whole lot of other things. And so, I don't own a Ford, my wife does, but it's the same thing with these razors. And I know there's people out there that are going to say, oh no, Tobin, you're wrong. Yeah, maybe. You know what? But at the end of the day, it's going to remove stubble. And it's a matter of what meets your needs and what fits your needs. And so that's why, I don't like taking some of my vintage gear with me on my hikes, because sometimes I never know where exactly I'm going to shave. And I worry all the time about stuff getting away from me. That's one of the reasons why I scoop the tubs. If you guys have seen me do my first impressions, you notice that when I first am breaking into one of these soaps I'm going to review, I scoop from the top, and that's so the soap is less likely to roll away from me. And that's because a lot of times when I'm doing that first impression, I have no idea where I'm going to actually be shaving from. And so I just do that to be cautious, overly cautious. Yeah, probably, but I try to take care of my stuff. And so I also shared with Pete, I have 2 economy brushes from Sterling. Both of them I think I only paid around $10, but when I was looking the other day to share them with Pete, and I know Pete had probably already looked at them before, but I shared with him the link anyways. I went and looked and they were like $13 now, $14 now. Sterling has a handful of economy brushes. When I did my Oro Valley review at the coast a while back, when I used the Starling, I brought with me one of those economy brushes from Sterling. And losing that brush wouldn't be the end of the world. And if you watched that video, you saw that brush whip up a lather that would be just as good as any other brush. If you know, I really challenge people to do more blind tests. Like, even if you have to have like your wife or your roommate or someone like that set up the blind test for you, I would like to see it scientifically proven that, you know, one fiber truly creates a better lather than another. Do some maybe take longer to create the same type of lather? Sure, there's going to be variables, and I acknowledge the variables. I just really feel like, though, that we're at a time and place in this economy, and maybe it's just me in my life and where I am at, and maybe this is saying more about me than it's really saying more about the economy, but I like that companies have economical brush choices. Some of my favorite brushes are my cheaper brushes. I love all of my brushes from PAA, and the 12 that I purchased, they've all been for less than $20. But just the conversations I had with Pete, I'm trying to think, there's another instance where I was talking with him that he really impressed me with how he is trying to only put out a top quality product. And you can see that in his soaps and his splashes. If you have ever used Pete's base that I have here, you know that all you need is a little bit to create a luxurious tier 1 top quality lather that the modern wet shaver is looking for in 2023, now almost 24. It's November, what, 3rd or 4th now or something? 5th? Sunday. Back to work tomorrow. And so I'm really impressed with Pete. To enter the giveaway, in your comments below, put your feelings on what I'm talking about. If I'm coherent and I'm making any sense, if I'm not, just, hey Toby, you're not making any sense. But if I'm making any sense, in the comments below, just put your thoughts on what I just talked about in any way whatsoever. And then at the end of that, so that I know you're actually wanting to enter, put Just One Riot. So give me your thoughts and opinions on what I just talked about, and then Just One Riot. And you know, yeah, no, I stand by what I said. I think it. What did I do with my damn towel? There it is. Wish I could pause it and rewind and hear what I just said. If I wasn't coherent, if that was too much of a ramble, let me know. I love this fragrance. And I'm really impressed with Pete Hendrix and the way that he does things. And another guy I'm really impressed with too, Bill at Murphy and McNeil. I've shared that in a couple of videos. My interactions with Pete, I want to say dealings, but I think that can kind of have like a negative connotation, and none of it has been negative. Bill and Pete both are first class guys. And when you pay attention and you know deal with someone enough, you get to see over time, exactly who they are and what they're about. It's like that analogy I've given before about like restaurants, to where you can go to the same restaurant like 100 times, right? And have a great experience. And then that one time you go and you order, you know, a steak, and they bring you a hamburger, which hamburgers are great. I love a hamburger, but they bring you a hamburger and that's not what you wanted. And, you know, and you let them know that, hey, that's not what I ordered. You know, I wanted the steak. And then they, you know, berate you and tell you that, no, you ordered the hamburger, rather than just saying, oh, I'm sorry, and bringing you the steak, right? All it takes is that one time. You know, I really feel like people, when things are good, it's easy to be good, right? And to put on a happy face. But who are you when things don't go the way that you want them to go, or the way that you expected them to go? How do you treat people in those instances? And when it comes to businesses, I think that's what it's all about. Like the car insurance or health insurance, right? You'll hear people talk about that have great insurance, but they've never had to use it. Like car insurance, oh, I've got the best car insurance, but they've never had to use it. And then they finally get around to using it, and the car company, you know, the car insurance company treats them like a criminal. And, you know, you learn the hard way that car insurance wasn't so great. This fragrance is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I don't think there's an EDP of this available. I wish there were. I think I might buy that just to support Pete and Bill, rather than supporting a niche fragrance designer. Nothing against Alfred Dunhill. It's just, you know, I got that Main Street mentality, and I would rather support the people in this community, the businesses in this community. Don't forget to enter Just One Riot, $15 gift card. Give me a couple of weeks, and I'll find a suitable time to do that giveaway, probably when I review this brush, and then we'll kick off the other one. Thank you, Pete. Seriously, thank you for everything that you do and everything that I've seen you stand for. I hope I didn't step out of line with the things that I talked about in this video. I gave it some thought before I did, and I felt like that you'd be okay with it, and I hope that you genuinely are. I think you're a stand-up guy, and I've enjoyed doing these reviews for you. The brush, I love it. This is a Sovereign fiber type with that killer handle, green and yellow. I mean, it's just beautiful. I love it. He's calling this the Matrix. Until next time, it's the Little Big Things. I got a couple of videos to do from the den. Hope this was a suitable backdrop. I love it. That tree back there, just, it's gorgeous. I had to do it. A couple of things prevented me from doing what I wanted to do today. Stepped up and did the dad thing, and so I wasn't able to go on the hike that I wanted to go on, but I still wanted to do this review. It's the Little Big Things, my friends. Like, who are you when the waters get tough? Yeah. I want to be the person that Luna thinks I am. That's who I want to be. I want to be the person that my dog thinks I am. It's kind of cheesy. You know what? The older I get, though, the cheesier I get. And the less I care about what people think about that cheesiness, right? Thank you. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you. I'll appreciate you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.